I'm Shane Jenkins back with Liberty's Cage for the final segment with Chris Worrell. Good afternoon, everyone. Shane Jenkins here from Liberty's Cage on the America First Media and Television app, also on the War Boys Studios. Happy to be here with y'all. Thank y'all always for tuning in and hearing what we have to say. You know, we get the opportunity to tell January 6 stories from somebody like myself who lived it. I don't do this to cry about what we went through. I do it to log it and to have a record of it, so you can hear the people here for yourself. If you want to read about it, what the mainstream media has to say about it, feel free to go to CNN or USA Today or the Wall Street Journal, whatever it is. But if you want to hear the stories from the people who lived it, this is the place to do it. So I been a lot going on. We just passed the 2-year anniversary of the Butler assassination attempt on President Trump, and I had the pleasure of meeting a wonderful lady named Helen Comparator, and her husband Corey Comparator died that day in Butler, protecting his family. And they are having an event Saturday in Butler, PA, called Corey's Cruise. I highly recommend that you guys go on all your social media and look up Corey's, Coreys, Corey's Cruise, and try to be there. I am going to definitely try to be there Saturday, because I just want to honor him. And the last thing he did in life was try to protect his wife and his daughters, and he was having a great time at a rally. They tell the story of him being like a kid on Christmas morning, getting to go to the rally, getting to see President Trump, and they were actually given the seats. Somebody traded them seats for the seats that they sat in that he passed away at. So it just was just a strange number of events. Helen also says that she strongly believes that the guy didn't act alone, that she feels like it was an inside job. She didn't say there was a second shooter. She just said that there's no way he did that alone. And I'm inclined to believe that, especially after they shut down the investigation into it and all that. There's so many unanswered questions that we have as a republic, as a society out there, whether it's in the Charlie Kirk shooting with the special forces community coming out, especially, and saying that that was definitely not a 30-06 that was used, regardless of if you believe it was Tyler Robinson or you believe what Candace Owens says about the Egyptian forces following Charlie Kirk around, whatever it is. I don't care. I entertain all those things. I digest them. I use my critical thinking, and I try to analyze the data that I'm given. And I wish the FBI would do that. I wish the FBI would say, okay, we've got this plane following Charlie Kirk around. We've got these teams of people that seem to be in the general vicinity, and they have the geofencing that we know they did it to the J6ers. They should be monitoring any avenue, any lead. Instead, Kash Patel basically just shuts down all these different avenues of investigation, and I think it's negligent, and I think it's not what the people want. The people want the truth, whatever that is. If it was simply Tyler Robinson and it was a transgender thing, then that's fine. But show the truth. Let society get what they want, and do a diligent and do an investigation. Follow any lead. We saw the Tate brothers arrested, Tristan and Andrew Tate. They're trying to be extradited to the UK. What's frustrating is the U.S. Marshals got these guys, whatever. If they did it, whatever. They'll have their day in court, is what I say. I choose to withhold my judgment in that situation. But what I would say is it's very frustrating to not see Anthony Fauci being arrested. It's frustrating to not see anybody from the Epstein list being arrested. It's frustrating to not see anybody from the Russia collusion hoax arrested, anybody who participated in staging the J6 riot arrested. But they will go after these other people who are not a part of the machine and who seem to be very opinionated. I wish I didn't feel like it was going to be left in the lap of the people to take this republic back, but I feel like that's where we're headed. So we'll see. But I don't want to take up the whole show talking about my opinions. We are going to bring on Chris Worrell, whom I believe, we met on the plane on the way to, or maybe it was after, on the way to Northern Neck Regional Jail. We'll get the facts on that when we bring him out here in just a second. Hey, Chris.
What's up, brother?
How are you, man?
We met in a van, me and you by ourselves, leaving from Northern Neck, headed to D.C.
Okay, that's what
I got a funny remembrance. We won't talk about that on here, but you remind me to tell you about something funny about
Was that when I had to pee?
Yeah, bro.
I had to pee.
I had to talk you out. You had my Doritos or potato chip bag.
I think I
yours.
didn't I pee in the chip bag, or I didn't?
No, I talked you out because I knew it was going to just go everywhere. There was no way you were going to just pee in these little 4-ounce bags of chip bag and not be able to go. Like, it wasn't happening. We hadn't got shit forever, and I'm like, dude, don't do it. It's going to go all the way up front.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. So, Chris Worrell.
2 more weeks.
You're from Florida, right?
Yes, sir.
You grew up there, born and raised there? Or?
No, I've been down here since 2002. Born and raised on Eastern Long Island, and then I got Southern injected. Little bit of time in military, but then lived through Georgia and South Carolina, and so I've been Southern injected and gentlemanized down here, and I love That's the good, people in the North South, because this is the North South Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This is not the South.
Right. It's a lot of transplants from the North down there.
It's so effed up here.
You're in Naples.
But, yeah, bro.
Naples is beautiful, dude. The beaches down there. Dude, I remember I was on the beach. I was like, man, I love it here. And then I'm like, I turn around and I go on like, what is the Zillow? And I'm looking at the properties. It's like 10, 13, 15, 25 million. Every house along the beach is like no less than $5 million.
You couldn't afford the 1 square of sod on the lawns of these places, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. But let me tell you about Naples. Naples used to be conservative. People like George Bush, if you believe he was conservative, but they used to have like presidential dinners and stuff like down here on Donahue's property, not Phil Donahue, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's a pharmaceutical guy. But Naples is turned into West Miami, and it is no joke. I go everywhere. Look, that's my truck gun right there. This is my baby Bertha. She rides with me everywhere I go, and multiple, because it's become almost stupid here, and they think the influence from the south of Florida and other places has become kind of gang-like again around here, and we got rid of that years ago, but it's back. It's not as beautiful as it used to be.
Well, I want to kind of get back into, I obviously know you from January 6th, from our incarceration. That's Absolutely. Where we met. But who were you prior to January 6th? What were you involved in? What was your career path? You're married, obviously. Tell me about all that if you get a chance.
All right. Well, I mean, I was married. My ex-wife, who my son will be 21 this September, and that's a whole screwed up story. I don't have any contact, even though, but. I was running $1 million auto shops. Like, I had run multiple businesses in this town. Extremely successful. All right, let me not embellish. Very successfully. Like, had great parts. I had great margins on money, but I had consistent customer flow and customers that followed me from a pretty big dealership here in town, a Cadillac dealer.
So you were an entrepreneur then?
I was managing automotive business. Yeah, I guess you'd say I was an entrepreneur. I was doing it. Everybody always asked me why I didn't want to do it and put my name on it, because I enjoyed being able to go home and semi-turn it off. And if I figured if I ever
so you were managing them. You were managing the properties then. Okay.
Yeah, key holders, like running.
Yeah, no worries.
But I can't get a job anymore. You can't get employed as a January 6th. You're in the community that you did successful in for 20 years.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in, I mean, you were obviously voted for Trump in 2020, and how did you get involved? How did you end up at the Capitol? Like, what led to that? I know you were Were you going to rallies and stuff prior to January 6th and stuff like that? Or
I got involved in politics here locally because we had stupid stuff going on, and believe it or not, we had, I forget the guy who was the pastor with the pink bus that went around supporting transgender. He came through town through Marco Island. He came out of the West somewhere. And then we had a situation here where a guy, Jason Beal, got assaulted in front of the Marco Island police by this girl because it was this defend Breonna Taylor garbage way back. And then he got assaulted live on camera, literally standing next to the woman police chief of Marco Island, and nothing happened. And then I was like, screw that. And then BLM came and did us this they had no permits or nothing, but they blocked a major streets all the way down. So if you remember Fifth Avenue South, that was the retard retail district. And you come up that way and it turns into like a 6-lane divided road going east towards Miami if you stayed on 41. Mm-hmm. Well, the courthouse is like, I don't know, 2 miles, 2.2 from there. And they did this, and nobody was defending Jason Beal. So I knew what he was doing. He was silently videoing everything that went on with all these protests. So I showed up at the courthouse, and I said, Jason, you don't know who I am, but I'm walking with you. I know you're going to do this march in the next couple of nights, whenever it was. I said, nobody else is willing to, but we're boots on the ground, bro. I got your back. And I marched with him that night, and we got messed with, but the cops wouldn't do nothing. And then it became obvious that they were going to do everything they could to stop Donald Trump once he walked down that escalator.
Hey, Chris, let me go to a commercial break really quick. We'll come back with more Liberty's Cage right after this. Sorry to interrupt.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW, making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots
Shane Jenkins back with Liberty's Cage segment 2 with Chris Worrell. So you were mentioning your activism, how you kind of got involved in some not anti-BLM marches, but some counter-protesting basically, or protection detail kind of stuff.
Yeah, just being present. I mean, and then they moved this protest to this corner, and then this girl she did get charged for assaulting Jason, but then she showed up at this corner trying to be in disguise with her mask and had like a Gilligan hat on from Gilligan's Island. And I walked right up to her and I was like, you deserve to be in prison or something. I forget what I said to her. And then I walked to the side, but then I had this guy that mysteriously I ran into when I met Jason at the courthouse that had a snorkeling mask and all this stuff on his backpack. And then I ran into him again at this incident on Immokalee Road in 951 back in 2020, I'm guessing. I mean, geez, so much going on. And I was calling him out. And he came and got right here in my face, like almost nose to nose, while the cop is standing to my right that I know. And I'm telling him, giving him I'm wanting him that, but there's no way that this guy was not an asset. He was way too...
at least a paid protester, right? He had...
Oh, no, it was bigger than that, Shane, because look, there were some things I won't say on this that I said right to that guy's face as he was literally right here. And I said some things and you don't even get eye reactions and that. Those are very well skilled operators when you get them like that. And I said some things that anybody else, because even the cop is off to the side going, damn, Chris. Yeah, he came to me like, let's go. I'm ready with your walking stick with the steel point on it and all. Right. But then I got into campaigning for Byron Donalds.
Okay.
Because I believed what Congress. This man had to say. For Congress, for District 19.
Okay.
I had been at a bunch of his events. Alfie Oaks here, Seed the Table. You were probably by there. I know. As a matter of fact,
I did go to Seed the Table. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
So that's where, like, the real patriots of this area stood up. Like Alfie, no masks were. You did not have to wear a mask in his store. He put signs on his doors. The feds aren't welcome. Nobody has to wear a mask in this store, but if you feel you need to, you can. That kind of stuff.
Right.
So fast forward, we're doing an event for Byron in that parking lot at Seed the Table. And this woman, and I assumed was her daughter, they looked very much alike. She was probably in her 40s driving. Her daughter was probably maybe 20. And she comes halfway acting like she was going to drive through the crowd because it was the normal parking lot. And I stopped that woman and then a couple others piled in with me, and we stopped her and we made her scream. She started screaming out the window, I'm in fear for my life. Get the F out. So I'm a well-known constituent of Byron Donalds. That's why I tell that.
Right.
And Shane, you led in the beginning of this with a statement that I want to ring loudly with you. None of us are doing this. We don't want fame. We don't want popularity. This is about saving the country.
Right.
And for those that think that this is a joke, and anything that me or Shane or other J6ers have to tell you, you better take it with far more than just a grain of salt.
That's right.
Because it's not if they're coming back, it's when. Now, for 4 years, Byron Donalds had consistent, daily updated emails from me. This is after DC jail was proven by the marshals that they were basically, I call it subtle murder. Because that's what they were doing to me. That's what they were doing to Lonnie Kaufman. So, I mean, we got a list.
Bart Shively? Yeah.
Bart Shively, who died from the same cancer I had.
Get into that. So you had, what did you have? Tell me, explain so you were suffering through cancer. Like, explain that. Go into that detail about that.
So for those that don't understand, like, I have the same exact cancer Bart did.
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the majority of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma people, you can keep your stuff under control. I'm sure you look at me right now, Shane, you haven't seen me here, but you remember me indeed. I didn't look this good.
Yeah. Yeah, you look.
And that's because you can maintain yourself.
Yeah.
But when you get total ignorance, and for a timeline's sake here, let's put this into perspective for the people. I walked into D.C. jail with you on April 13th, 2021. That was the day I'll forever ingrained. You, me, Pete Schwartz, geez, I think there was 11 of us or something.
Julian Cater.
Jordan Mink.
Thomas Webster.
Yep, Jordan. But yet, me, Jordan, and Tom, we got sent up to the
COVID thing, yeah. Half of us had COVID, half of us didn't.
Now look, I was sick. I was legitimately sick. Like, I came down, so while I was up in, and Jordan and Tom can attest to this. That first night, like, I definitely had, I hate the term COVID because it's their bullshit agenda name for it, but that's what it was. I had severe lung hurting, like, and the guy that was watching us, there was only 4 of us or 5 of us up there, counting us 3. And he went into the side room and went to sleep. He put out all the lights because you couldn't come out of it. I mean, we're in COVID lockdown, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like bodysuits and all kinds of crap. It was crazy.
Right. So I'm banging on the door. Literally, I'm hurting. I'm having a hard time breathing. My left side of my chest, I think my lung is coming out. Like, Jordan and them, he starts beating on the door. We can't get the guy. Finally, he wakes up. It's like, I don't even remember what time it was. But he finally, after the 3 of us kind of giving him some, he called for medical. They come up, oh, you're all right. And I was pissed because I'm sitting in this chair and they slammed the, well, no, I'm sorry. Let me, I'm going too far. I gave them what was going on. They left. I'm good. They'll see me in the morning. I'm like, I know I'm not good. So then the white shirt comes up. This Lieutenant Allen, I believe is who it was that night. I can't for sure remember who it was, but he looked at me, him and a woman tonight, they came up because I said, you get some officers up here. And they came and he heard me and I said, your guys over there are sleeping and all that, and slammed the door in my face, like almost immediately. And then he came back at 6 something in the morning. They took me to, which was the 2 hospitals, not Washington, the other one.
Columbia.
And
I don't know what they call them. I don't know what they are.
I forget. I've been in both of them.
Georgetown, maybe? I don't know.
Georgetown. I think it was Georgetown University. And then, they don't want to talk about that. But then they released Jordan and Tom, but they hold me for like 5 more days. Why? I've been testing the same negative they were.
And, well, what people don't realize, like, we had been pretty much locked down at Northern Neck. Well, I don't know, maybe y'all were out. But anyways, we get to D.C., and they just pull us off the bus. Y'all went to COVID protocol. The other 3, me, Julian, and Pete, we went to COVID lockdown as well. We went to a quarantine.
Right.
You guys tested positive, go to quarantine for...
But you went to a different one.
We went to a different quarantine, even though we didn't test positive, and they left us in the cell for 23 and a half hours a day for 17 days straight. And it literally, no books, no, yes, number 17. Right. Where's Cleve at? You're like,
where's I missed that guy, man.
But no reading material, no nothing, man. That was what was crazy.
Right.
Is they had us on lockdown, locked in a. Imagine just being. People don't understand.
They didn't give you any phone at all.
When we would come out, we would get the phone for like 30 minutes or whatever. Like you could make one
so
phone call.
We weren't allowed out of our cells. They roll the phone around. We'd get the phone for like 2 hours because they put it in our cell.
We could go out in the day room for like 30 minutes. We had to shower.
Well, that's how it was in C2B in the beginning too.
Yeah, so that was
if you got your 30 minutes.
But so you get out of COVID protocol, you make it to the Patriot pod.
Right. C2A first because we still had the split. We had 12 of us over there in C2A. Then it was like 6 or 8, and then we all eventually got booted into B.
Yes, C2B, yeah. And how was that?
But we were. What was that?
How was that?
Dude, I mean, the people, there's no way to convey this so people really understand the weight of what we went through in that jail. And if they really wanted an example, I say let it get a couple of us together. Let's take you down in the woods here in the Everglades for about a week, and we're going to give you the closest environment we can to what we went through.
Yeah.
Because they screwed us every way. I mean, and then you know they would be proud to tell your lawyer, like Major Talley told on a phone call with Ryan Marshall. He was with, I forget, I think he was still with Pierce then.
Yeah.
But she told him, like, if Royal files another grievance, he's going to the hole. Like, and then, so I wrote a grievance about that. like, what the fuck?
You're like, how about that? You're like,
right, how about that?
I got another one.
You know,
I got this one half off. Like,
oh, wait. Y'all were out on the yard this day. And the girl that wrote, you'll remember her name maybe, she always signed off on the grievances, even though there was 3 levels, ladies and gentlemen. You had
we got 30 seconds, Chris, till break.
Oh, do we have to come back after the 30 because this is how stupid it was.
All right. If anybody was wondering what Chris's nickname was, it was Coleslaw Chris, because he used to steal.
That was one of a few. Yeah.
He used to steal.
I like the coleslaw.
We would put the extra trays.
Came in a bucket. You know,
they would put all the extra trays on this table, and nobody wanted the bologna at lunch, so he would go scoop all the coleslaw out of the trays. Anyways, we'll be back with more Coleslaw Chris on Liberty's Cage right after this.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic place in all the land. Hey, I'm here getting cleansed up. You know why? Because Sugar Creek Goods is a great place by Patriots, making Patriot soaps, making me smell nice. And that's what's nice. Who wants to go down the street and smell of somebody bad in New York City? Hey, by the way, what's this thing for?
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
You know what is more disappointing than Gino Bisconte, everyone?
My sex life?
No, bad cell service. Let's make fun of Gino. Oh wait, he's here.
Well, speaking of the opposite of his sex life, these people have towers that are huge and they're everywhere. And while you're traveling, you can use these huge towers. PatriotMobile.com / it bends to the right. I don't have to tell you. TAFW. And then you can talk about me behind my back.
Patriotic people doing patriotic things.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
I'm Shane Jenkins, back with Liberty's Cage, segment 3, with my friend I endearingly call Coleslaw Chris. I don't know if he has other nicknames or not, but go ahead and pick up your story where you left off, Chris. Sorry.
You messed up my brain with that.
You were talking about the grievance lady, and we all went to Red.
Yeah, so I wrote grievance, right? And then I was writing grievances. I finally figured out, a bunch of us did. We were like, wait a minute. If there's 3 levels of grievances, but the same person is signing off, there's no point of the grievance procedure because it's corrupt.
Yeah.
So I wrote multiple grievances about the response, and this woman who kept signing off on all levels of grievances. So one day, y'all chose to go out to the yard, and she come up, and I was over in the corner. I think I was in 3 at the time, right across from the phones. And I'm coming out of my cell because, you guys are in the yard, so we got the day room. And I'm going to go to the phone, but I hear this woman at the that I've never seen before, and my name was mentioned. So I look, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm Worrell. What's up? Why are you writing grievances about the grievance procedure? And I said, because it's corrupt. You can't sign. I told her the whole thing, and she left. She's like, you got to stop writing grievances. I'm going to write a grievance about you being here, and I did.
Add question to me here. Yeah, to discourage me from writing grievances.
You think I'm not writing a grievance about this?
Sidebar on this: do you remember when people were putting like Trump won and dropping it in the grievance box, and
they got mad, dude.
They came back and freaked out. Do not be putting Trump won in the
like they what, 6 times or something.
Trigger. They were so triggered. They were so
Lieutenant Lancaster.
They were like all black inner city DC women. Don't be putting Trump wanted in the grievance box. No more.
And who was the counselor woman that used to come in with the Kamala Harris shirt on? What was her name?
I forget, man. I forget who that was.
And Troy Smocks would smooze up to her.
God, that was such
It's crazy, man. Like, we could do 15 shows on C2B. And the skits. Look, who's ever got videos of the skits that were done, we need them. That shit
for real.
was
good.
Classic.
Did somebody film the some of the Hopium dens?
When I came back through for sentencing and we were filmed, that shit was going out. Like, we were holding I was holding the laptop while they did ones in 23, 24 while I was back in there. It was hilarious. Like, now we're allowed to, we just hold the laptop right in front of everybody. But
right.
So let's get deep here, because the U.S. Marshals, after I magically got out from underneath the Antichrist, Beryl Howell, and I got Judge Lamberth in June. He denied my bond hearing in that June and I had a new attorney at the time too. But Lamberth heard a lot of stuff, and what he got behind the scenes was even bigger. And we made, here's where they got. People don't understand. We made I call it the hangnail in the room, because we made my whole argument about my broken hand. Now, we won't get into how I broke my hand, but
I know how, but go ahead.
I think it was cell 13 after a phone call. Whatever. Look, the point is, regardless of how the hand got broke, they did nothing about the hand.
Right, yeah.
So they took me to the ER, and Corporal Hayes, I busted him. He went up in my cell, and he took the speech that I had written on my desk, and he got rid of it, because he went to go get me socks and a tear. But
Hayes
lo and behold,
dirty.
Lo and behold, our one confidant, who I think at least was 85% in our side, he told me, it was matter of factly, he never came into the pod for nothing. So, and that was on a Saturday, I believe it was, when I broke my hand.
He could have came in and gave somebody a break, or you never know. Like, yeah, probably.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would call it. But you know, look, I'm not going to say his name on it because I do believe he was pretty righteous. The one officer we had.
I would say 100%. He never, he saved. I don't know how many times he saved me from going to the hole, and he's a good guy, man. He good-hearted.
He was. I believe so because I saw him for a blip in 23-24 going to court because he was running the fence out there, and he gave me a quick 5-seconder with the U.S. Marshals as they're taking me out for trial or for sentencing. So, but look, the corruption is heavy. So when I came home, I got out of there November 4th. Lambert extracted me pretty much.
What year?
21. Because I had a hearing October 4th, I believe it was. No, I'm sorry. October 13th. October 13th was when the contempt hearing happened on DC DOC Director Quincy Booth and Warden Wanda Patton in my case. And we made it about my broken hand because they got caught lying. Because they didn't take me back within the 10-day period to check my hand to see if it could be repositioned. They waited almost 60 days, I'm thinking it was, something like that. Well, then the orthopedic guy said he absolutely needs surgery. But then they tried to lie and embellish. He doesn't need surgery. And then they kept saying I was being treated for everything else.
This was of 20. You said 21. Okay.
Yeah, this is DC Gulag, bro. We were all together.
No, I know. So, you got extracted. Well, you got extracted in 21?
Yeah, because right after that November 4th hearing with Lambert, I wasn't there 90 minutes. Y'all were on the yard that day. You all came back. I was gone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because
that's crazy.
Lambert said this live and I was in the Zoom hearing downstairs, and he said, "Lai, I have no confidence in the DC jail. I fear for your safety, and I wasn't there 90 minutes. I was looking at Trish in the Congressional Cemetery after I came out of the hearing. I didn't know she was out there. I knew she was in DC. And talking back and forth, and they extracted me and took me to
discharge or whatever.
No, what's the other one across the pond there, across the river in Virginia?
Oh,
not Northern.
Alexandria?
Yeah, so I was there and then went home the 6th. But then I had meetings with Byron.
So they didn't even bring you back to the D.C. jail. They just were like, you're going to a different jail right
No, I was in the D.C. jail for the Zoom. They brought me back to the pod. But within 90 minutes of me getting back in the pod, you guys were all out on the yard. The majority of the pod was. And they jerked me out of there. The marshals were downstairs waiting for me.
What was that like?
Like, I felt like a sense of relief, dude, because I knew. Look, when I was in the hole right before that, the ERT guy came to my cell and I wrote it all down. And I got a call out to my lawyer. Thank God the whole guard was cool. Because I was going to, every time I had a hearing, they would rush me to outside medical to show some bullshit. Well, my outside medical that day was for this. Because of the contempt hearing. Well, when you're in a hole in the shoe in D.C., they give you your yard time for an hour in the morning at like 6 o'clock.
In a cage.
And, right, either outside in the cage or in the stupid TV room.
Yeah.
And so I'd be on the phone, of course, connecting. But I caught I knew I was going to outside medical, so I was like, hey, man, I'm going to lose my yard. I'm not going to get the call. I need to call my attorney about something. And he didn't even have any idea about that ERT guard came to my door, who I didn't know. And we knew most of them up there in CQB. Mm-hmm. I didn't know this guy, even though he had a mask on and that. We still knew who a lot of them were, like Taylor and all that. And this guy told me, they better get you out of here. And he wasn't telling me as a warning. He was as a friendly warning. He was telling me. And then when I came back from the hole, Alan came to my cell at 2-something in the morning and told me to say, and I had that documented. They better get you out of here.
Male officer Allen?
Lieutenant Allen, the bald guy. Short, bald guy that wasn't even on our pod. He was over at CDF, and he came at 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. Well, he popped my cell, and all I see is a white shirt in my door. And I was in the middle of a knockout sleep, apparently. And I thought that was it. They got me. Yeah. Because the contempt happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can go into it, how they drugged me into the basement of Miami courthouse while I was in Miami FCI there, or the transfer station, and how they tried to get me to say things and all that. And dude, look, we we saw some ass whoopings get handed out in C2B. I avoided that somehow in DC jail.
I don't know how.
But I paid for it in transfer.
Yeah.
And by, like, you guys, no idea what they put. I was in such fear for my life, Shane, as you know. Look, I got it. They never found it.
Yeah.
I didn't leave out of whim. I wasn't scared. And I predicted all this in front of Byron Donalds while he had evidence of everything that was going to happen and continued to have evidence. And I predicted what was going to not happen for me in the BOP. And Byron said I was full of crap, basically, and looked me in the eye, and I knew I was doomed.
Didn't he? So what did he say? You can trust the federal government. We're here to help. Is that what he said? Isn't that what you told me he said?
Oh, something. Yeah, I mean, you got the context right. I mean, it wasn't those words, no, but like he just looked at me across the desk and was, I don't remember the exact words, but it was like, Chris, it's not, you're going to be safe in the Fed. And I'm looking at Mercedes to my left and his little minion Jesse to my 11 o'clock, who's a little piece of crap. And I told him so in my 94-minute public meeting in June 25, right in front of his boss, at a Fed convention at the Naples Grand, because the FBI had graduates there and Byron was speaking. So I met him in the bar area, and for 94 minutes I recorded our meeting. And he refused to acknowledge the fact that saying my name mattered. And I hate to say that for that bullshit that the libs did, but damn it, he did videos, and I sent you them before this. There's 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
We got to go to George Floyd.
We got to go to a break, but we will be back with more Liberty's Cage and the Dirty on Byron Donalds with Chris Worrell, Coleslaw Chris, right after this.
This is the voice of Tina Peters. Unfortunately, this is the only way I can speak to you tonight. I look forward to the day I can speak to you with my real voice. Thank you for gathering here tonight. I especially want to thank Andrew Womack and the Truth and Liberty Coalition for the Samuel Whitmore Award. I am very humbled by your recognition of my service. There are so many others I feel should be in this place receiving this award, but you chose me. With accepting this award carries with it much responsibility. Having put my hand to the plow, I cannot turn back, and neither can you. Our country, as you know, is in a dire place in history, a nation just 250 years old, founded on God and liberty. We must, every one of us, ask God, what is our part? Use me, Lord. You've mentioned courage. I say, you don't know how much courage you have until that is your only choice. And character and integrity is what you do when no one else sees. Every day in prison is very difficult, from threats, assault, loud chaos, and unfair treatment. The only thing they cannot take from me is honesty, integrity, and my faith, which gives me the courage to continue on. And that I'm fulfilling His purpose for me and this nation. It's been 5 long years since I exposed the truth. Millions in legal fees, and I'm still here in prison. Your financial support, letters, and informing people of my incarceration are appreciated deeply in my heart. For me, though, the pain comes not from the lack of recognition of me, but what I expose. Every time I see on the news a Spanberger, a Mondami, Virginia redistricting, New Jersey, and others being selected, I know what is responsible. The cure is closed races, the obvious 51% machine manipulation. We can do other measures like mail-in voting, ID, etc. But in the end, when you are using the machines that are programmed to achieve the measure, whether it's higher taxes here in Colorado, abortion, elected officials, it will all be selected by the machine. I lost my liberty. Protect your rights, all of them. Now they're trying to take my voice. Be my voice. Tell the truth. Persevere. Please warn our officials before it's too late. The proof is at tinapeters.us, the expert forensic report, and the reason that I'm here in prison. Please don't let my sacrifice continue on without exposing why. Psalm 20 says, "May he grant us according to our heart's desire, all to fulfill our purpose. We will rejoice in our salvation in the name of our God. We will set up our banners. May the Lord fulfill all of our petitions. With the saving strength of his right hand, we have risen and stand upright. And I will not back down, give up, or give in. May the King answer when we call." Thank you so much, and God bless you all, and God bless our nation.
I'm Shane Jenkins, back with Liberty's Cage for the final segment with Chris Worrell, my DC Gulag brother, who has some very interesting things to share about Byron Donalds. And before we jump into all that, how do you feel? I really like the content that this Fishback guy is putting out. Do you think he has a chance, or is there some other guy running? I'm not really hip to Florida's gubernatorial race, but does Fishback or another candidate have the chance to actually win the governorship of Florida?
Well, what I find interesting about Fishback is he has the youth, like the young Republicans of Florida are like all over. And look, everything he's got to say, I don't recall. I'm sure there's something but I don't recall. And I've listened to him. I talked to him here a couple months ago at a local REC meeting when I dropped a 5-page email about Byron to the whole REC and the Republican Party of Florida on how they need to retract any endorsement for this man. It's not just what he didn't refuse to do as a congressman for his constituent, but I mean, there's so much. How's he worth the millions he is, but he came in with 600,000? That's his only career. There's all of that discussion, ladies, and it's not hearsay, it's proof. I've said it. I'll say it here I said it to you on the phone earlier, and I'll say it. Look, if it's Byron or David Jolly on the ballot, I'm voting Democrat.
Yeah.
Because Byron's worse than a Democrat, ladies and gentlemen. He comes from New York. He's one of those of many that now we have train cars of that became Republicans around the 2010 timeframe. Mm-hmm. Everything he has said has been documented across the board. H-1B visa program. He wants to bring it to a misdemeanor now to raise it from $500 to $1,500 if you steal from somebody.
Yeah.
And I mean,
they seem like Democrat policies, kind of. What
they are 1,000%.
Yeah.
He did George Floyd videos, multiple, about how that guy got killed and murdered.
Right.
But wait a minute, you've got 4 years of daily, multiple times between my emails, phone calls, my wife's.
How many J6 videos did you post, do you know?
None.
Yeah. That's right.
None. He answered some stupid answers and some. I supported J6s. No, you didn't. Paul Gosar and Louis Gohmert, who I didn't even know their names.
Right.
In June-ish of 21, while we're in the gulag, mentioned my name on the House floor that I'm being tortured. I'm like, wait, they know?
Yeah.
But nothing happens?
Yeah.
Byron never spoke my name, but he propped up crackhead George Floyd.
Yeah.
With the I can't breathe BS.
Who's not his constituent.
And I'm sorry, I'll say it here, Derek Chauvin deserves a pardon. Get him out.
I agree. Well, what's crazy is George Floyd wasn't his constituent, but you are.
Well known. Again, I stopped that lady from driving through his event at Seat the Table.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We knew each other. We went to Grove Church while I was home on his ankle monitor.
Yeah.
I was in his face regularly.
Right.
And all I did was gave him evidence.
Yeah.
And I have 82 pages of inter-office communications that were given to me. And I know there's more. Plus my texts. That prove Legislative Counsel at the time, Christopher Block and Byron Donalds, were the reasons why nobody did it. Nothing happened in that office.
Do you have so if the general public is interested in seeing the evidence you have or your 82-page document or whatever, what would be a way for them to check that out or get with you? Like, I don't want to give out your phone number.
You can
email.
Yeah, email me. Give out my patriotcj2015@gmail.
Okay, patriotcj2015.
And look, and for those of you that have my phone number, you're welcome to give it out to those that you feel are trusted. But I always say this to those that I do give my number to, that on the streets here, because I have a card, and I always tell them, if Rachel Maddow calls you and wants to talk to Chris Worrell, you tell her to call me.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I'm the same. I'm willing. This is my thing, and maybe we can try and kind of shift gears, but so.
The truth is the truth, and it's that simple.
What do you think?
And we lived it.
What did you think about the weaponization fund, and what do you think is going to come down the pipe from that? Are you party to these lawsuits?
All right, I'm glad you brought that up. I know you saw it.
I
brought up the 1776 resurrected.
We got 6.5 minutes, so.
I brought that up. Look, that's my tort claim. It was 5.5 pounds total weight with evidence. The 10 pages you see on my X account is just the brief. Yeah. And I brought up the 1776 return as a punch in their face.
Yeah.
Because they killed it. They were so adamant about not giving us a penny, they forgot now we get to request.
Yeah.
All of that shit you refused. Remember, they deleted my 7 hours, 26 minutes, and 32 seconds of GoPro footage. They want you to believe I wore a GoPro for nothing.
Yeah. It was a show camera.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The movie is still going. We're only in like series 5 now.
Right. Yeah.
It's 2 more weeks. Shane gets that. You know, and it's 2 more weeks, bro.
For those who don't know, while we were in the gulag, we would watch War Room. Like Bannon was like a staple in there. Like lots of people would have the tablet and watch War Room, and then it was always Mike Lindell would be. And God bless Mike Lindell. I can say this. My Pillow makes an excellent product. I'm not sponsored to say that. I had one. My girlfriend and I used to fight over it so much that she bought me one for my birthday, so we would both have one. But support Mike Lindell. But he would always be on War Room while we were in the gulag, and he
Mike Lindell's a governor.
He's like, I've got a lawsuit that's going to make it to the Supreme Court, and we're going to overturn the 2020 election. And we're like, he's like 2 more weeks, and we should have this thing overturned. And it was like, we're sitting in there being tortured, political prisoners in jail, and like, if this is true, we're going to come out looking like roses, and we're going to be free, and we're going to be right, and vindicated, and all these things. And it's like, it was.
Well, like I think we're right there.
Like this little shot of opium.
Opium. Yeah,
and it's like, 2 more weeks, and then it became this satire, and it was like, Are we going to get out of here or what? Like, everybody's like, 2 more weeks, like every day, 2 more weeks.
Look, we had the Marines were going to land helicopters in the back and extract us through the side doors that were on the side of the pods.
Billy Crystal. If you do enough 2 more weeks, eventually you're going to be right. And you're going to get out.
We're almost there. Look, they just vindicated us again that 2020 was obliterated everywhere.
Yeah.
So, it's 2 more weeks, bro. Vindication. But
they just need to compensate us now.
Right. Look, and listen, I'll say this for those that don't know. While I was home on ankle monitor, my wife got to go over to Mar-a-Lago, and she got to hang with Trump.
Yeah.
And he called her to the side. And she gave him, I don't even remember. I was too dangerous to go. I was home on this. I was locked down. I couldn't even go to medical appointments without getting them pre-approved a week ahead of time. But yet, here I am with stage 3 cancer because, and let's not forget, April 13th is when we walked in there, and I left November 4th, and in that short time, I went from stage 1 to stage 3 because of their bullshit. So there's the proof in the pudding. You want the medical records, call me.
Yeah.
And Byron Donalds did nothing with all this continuous evidence and never muttered my name, and that man does not belong being your HOA president. He's a piece of garbage.
Right. What did Trump tell your wife?
I'm sorry I'm mad about this.
No, that's fair. What did Trump say to the missus?
Oh, he looked her dead in the face and he said, listen, the first 24 hours, this is over. And y'all will be generously compensated.
That's good.
And he leaned into her. And the way she told me, she leaned into me, she said, and he said, generously, like that.
That's good. I like that.
And look, I don't care what anybody's got to say about Donald Trump. Look, this man saved my life.
That's right.
God bless this man for saving my life.
That's right. That's right.
Because I'd be dead.
That's right.
And I proved that through my BOP 6 months at the FMC with no medical attention.
Well, Bart Shively didn't survive. Bart Shively came in like stage 2 or stage 1 and went home with stage 4 and then died months later as a result of it.
You know, and that's why, look, my 1776 Resurrected is for every single J6er and everybody that paid the price for weaponized government. And it's real, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
They tried to murder me. They came to my house and flashbanged me. Flashbanged my wife.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't home that morning. That's how dangerous we all were.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting, and I tell this for the people, isn't it interesting that all of us conservative, red-blooded Americans, nobody came out with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Is that a coincidence? Bullshit. I got a coincidence.
I feel like they wanted, the reason they came armed for bear is because they wanted it so they could see, would be one more way to see. We told you they're violent. Look at them.
That's why they put Troy Smocks in C2B. That's why they later on brought Zachary Alam through there. And I told that somebody, imagine how I had that phone conversation, sat right next to him in that TV room. And Miller was in there with me. And I told them, I said, there'll be no shenanigans in here, bro. I don't give a shit. And then after I got done telling them, I said, no, you I don't know what you're bringing in here. And then I leaned over and showed him a Proud Boy tattoo. And that motherfucker's like 6 feet into the concrete. And imagine that, he was gone, 2 days later?
Yeah.
How fast did they extract him?
Unfortunately, they brought Taylor Toronto in later on. That didn't work out so well for him, saying that.
Right, what the...
He didn't give a F about making...
They wanted one of us to come to prove their bullshit narrative, but yet they could never get it.
Yeah. Well, we will fight. That's the problem. We will fight. We will fight. We got about 25 seconds, Chris, and we'll give you a few seconds, and I got to take us out of here.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the weaponized government's real, and it's not if, it's when. I'd say this with conviction in my heart. Because when they get control, we're all on the list.
That's right. That's right. Well,
God bless everybody. United we stand.
That's right. Divided we fall. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Liberty's Cage. We love you guys. We love the America First Warehouse, Joe the Box, and the crew. We love you guys. Thank you. God bless you. See you next time.
A symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the